Morning. What's happening? Peace. What happened? Isn't it still 1974? Huh? What year is it? 2000 what? All right. We've been talking about we live in a trendy world, but the best things in life are timeless. On last week, we looked at our going to heaven and realized that many of you wanted to go, but nobody wanted to die to get there. But we also started looking at how important it is in how we view things and how the world is forever changing. For many of us, this was the look. Anybody else had this look? Who all had a fro? Yeah, you got your pick. You know, you needed to have that, right? I mean, if you didn't have your pick, you didn't have it going on. All right. So as we continue our series on timeless, knowing that we live in a trendy world, I thought it's appropriate as we are looking at today about first things first. All right? First things first. For many of us, I would hasten to say that our lives are not properly prioritized. We think it is. And today, I might show some of you that you've been out of balance for a long time. How many of you ever been in a car that's been out of balance? It's a rough ride. I mean, it might do well at 20 miles an hour. Might do okay at 40 miles an hour. But if you pick up some speed and try to travel a long distance, it becomes a very difficult ride. And so I want to help us have a smoother ride as we're traveling through life, because we're going to hit some bumpy roads. We're going to have some rough patches, as we saw with the incidents and things that are happening in Houston, Texas, and on the outlying areas. So if you would open your Bibles with me to the book of Proverbs. And I've got some other scriptures we're going to bounce around to help build a theological base for this. The book of Proverbs, and if you have never read the book of Proverbs, I would I would like to recommend that you read at least one chapter a day. One chapter a day.
Honor the Lord with your wealth. Isn't that what it says? With the first fruit of all your crops, right? Then your barns will be filled, listen to this, to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. Now, the writer of that is Solomon. He was the wisest man and the richest man to ever live before Jesus. And here he is now espousing to us some financial literacy, some financial wisdom. In fact, the Bible gives you about 2,350 plus verses about finances, and only about 500 about heaven. Seems disproportionate, doesn't it? But Jesus knew very well, as we talked on last week in Matthew 6:21, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so here now, Solomon, 1,000 years before Jesus, is explaining to us today the secret to financial success. How many of you got enough money? So then we all need a little help, right? We all need a little. How many of you wish you had some more money? Okay, and you do. All right, so now watch this. The first thing he tells us, he gives us the instructions for doing first things first. Look at the instructions that he gives. He says, honor the Lord. Now, here's the thing. This is not a suggestion. Okay? This word in the Hebrew is in the imperative tense, meaning that it is a command, something he is commanding us to do. Why? Now, he's the king. Here's a king who has all the money he needs, all right? Who has all the wealth he wants, because money and wealth are two different things, okay? All right? Who has all the knowledge he wants, and he says to do first things first. He says, honor the Lord with your wealth. Now, the word honor, what does it mean when we honor someone? It means to respect them, doesn't it? It means to acknowledge their power and their presence, right? Well, let me just make it even simpler. It means when you honor someone, you hate what they hate. You love what they love. You obey and trust what they say. Did you hear what I just said? When you honor someone, you hate what they hate. Hair getting in my eyes. I got to go get a haircut. You hate what they hate. You love what they love. You trust and obey what they say. So don't raise your hand if I ask you if you're honoring God. Now, there are many ways to honor God. This one that we're going to talk about is just one way. But the statement to honor God transcends everything. All right? So he's saying you can honor God with your time. You can honor him with your talent. You can honor him with your body. You can honor him with your hands, your eyes, your money, everything. If you're going to honor God, that means you're going to hate what he hates, love what he loves, trust and obey what he says, and you'll do that. Now, he goes on here now in these instructions. He tells us in this particular proverb to honor God with our what? Wealth. With our wealth. That's what he's telling us to honor God with. Now, let me just, you know how you have to have a disclaimer, right? Let me just give you a little disclaimer here. Because I know I got to be very careful on how I teach you all this. Because some of you, it may sound self-serving that I'm doing this for my benefit. And nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, let me tell you why I felt that I needed to teach you this. How many of you said you want to go to heaven again? That means I might see you there. Did you hear what I just said? That I might see you there. And I wouldn't want to bump into you into heaven. And I see you and you say, Herb, why you didn't teach me this timeless truth about God? Why you didn't tell me about this? Remember I said, because in heaven is a real place, right? We're going to have dialogue. We're going to be able to talk to each other. We're going to be able to have a conversation with one another. So I wouldn't want you to get to heaven and see me and say, you taught us about everything else. Why didn't you spend some time? In fact, here's what I would want you to say. I'm so glad that you taught me this and then I obeyed it, because guess what? I probably wouldn't be here. So this isn't for me. This is for you. Are you listening? So walk with me a little bit now. Walk with me. Look what he says now. He says, honor the Lord. Now, stop. Notice he says the Lord. In the Hebrew, that's the word Jehovah or Yahweh. He's actually saying, honor the God that you have a relationship with. How many of you say you have a relationship with the Lord? Y'all just been singing some great songs about, and you just praising him and everything. But now he's saying that if you honor this one who we call the Lord, the one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who separated night from day, if he is the one that you're in a relationship with, he's saying honor him with your wealth. Now, I know. You say, okay, well, how does that work out? Because how many of you got bills? I thought you might. I need some help up here. Let's see here. Yeah, hold on just a second. Just give me just a little do. While I set up here. Let me set up here. All right, now this is crowd participation. I promise. No, I better not promise that. I'll promise. No, I better not. Can I get you to come here, sir? It's Russ, isn't it? Okay, Russ, come in. You like apple pie? All right, man. There you go. Now that's a real piece of pie. All right, that's your piece. That's called your mortgage pie. So go ahead on. Now, go ahead on. Take that. You can enjoy that. See, he's going to get to enjoy that. Yeah, so now, either we have a mortgage or rent, right? So when we get paid, we talk about there's not enough pie to go around sometimes, right? But there's certain pieces of pie. Folks get their pie, don't they? Otherwise, we'd be out on the street, right? Go ahead, brother. Enjoy your pie. All right, let's see who we got here next. All right. All right. Come on, Brother Stowe. You got how many boys? 3 boys. They love to eat. That's your grocery pie. Go. Hold on. Go ahead on and, because you might not get anything else today. That's your grocery pie. All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right, Brother Faggot, come on. Oh. Either you got car payment or car repairs, right? Okay, all right. There's your car payment, car repair pie. Go ahead on. You enjoy that. You go on and enjoy that. It's getting rough. I forgot to give y'all napkins. Well, if y'all need one, y'all can come here. I forgot to give some of y'all napkins. I'll try to do better. So you can tell when the man serve. Y'all don't get napkins when men serve. Isn't that right? He wants one too. Come on. All right, come on, Brother Robinson. Come on. Do you have any utility bills? You do? That's your utility bill pie. Go ahead on it. You can save it for later. Some folks say, I hope I get a piece of pie. Anybody else want some pie? Come on up, sis. Come on. Now Now, we may not get out on time, but we're going to have some fun, right? All right, come on. Now, you might have some student loans, or you might have some personal loans, or you might have some credit cards. That's your credit card pie. Go ahead on and take it. All right. All right, let's see who we got here next. Uh-huh. 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 Come on, Sister Campbell. Yes, ma'am. Come on. Yes, come on. Don't be pouting. Because you probably really don't need this piece of pie, but no, I tell you what, you go ahead and have a seat. Come on, Sister Pat. Come on, Sister Pat. I know you need this piece of pie. Come on. Yeah. Take your time, dear. You shouldn't have been wearing these shoes. You wouldn't be like this. Yeah, well, hold on. Let me get your napkin so I might need to get somebody to escort you. Come on, Deacon Robinson, help her with her pie. Now this, he's going to carry it for you. He's going to carry it for you. This is your health care insurance pie. Yeah, see, that's what I said. Yeah. Okay, come on, Melissa. Yeah. Now, most of us have a clothing budget or a hair budget. I say most of us. We like to look good budget. There you go. That's your, yeah. Now, most of us don't like this last piece of pie, but this is your federal government, your taxes, and state government. Yeah. Come on, Brother Dennis. And this ain't no Dallas Cowboy pie, I can tell you that right now. You got enough of that to share. That's a double piece right there. There you go. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, that's how most of us do our money, right? All right. Come on, Brother McGee. I know this ain't you, but you're going to help me represent. This is our God piece of pie. Let me hold that right piece. Y'all see that? That's what we have left over. That's how most of us give. That's the piece of pie. But notice what the text says. Look what it says next. And I know I got to spur along, but I think you're following where this is going. Look what he says. He says, honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruit. Did you see that? It said the first fruit of some of your crop. Isn't that what it says? All of your crop. Most of us don't have first things first. And that's, how many of you said you needed some more money? Let me ask you this. If you had some more money, how many of you would give more? I thought you would tell me that lie. That you would tell me that. Listen to this right quick. Statistics show that people who make $25,000 or less give 7.7% of their income to charitable giving. People who make between $26,000 and $50,000 on average give 4.8. People who make $76,000 to $100,000 give 3%. People who make $100,000 to $100,000 to $200,000 give 2.6%. Those who make over $200,000 give about 2.8%. So see, you say that in your mind, if you had more, you would give more. But statistically, you won't. Rockefeller, John D. or John S. Rockefeller, was asked about why he was such a big giver. He said when he was a boy, he earned $1.50 a week, and his mother taught him to give 10% of that. And every time he kept earning money, he was able to give. He says, if I didn't start giving when I had a little, he says, I never would have given when I got a lot. All right? So most of us, you're your own financial downfall. You're hurting yourself. You see, so now let me just go quickly. Let me just show you the investment of doing first things first. This is what he's saying. This is what, and the life advice, let me give you the life advice for the first point. The life advice is that giving is not about your funds, it's about your faith. Did you hear what I said? Giving is not about your funds, it's about your faith. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to invest the way God says invest. He says, give him the first fruit. Now, I really don't have time to go as deep on this as I want, but you should have some passages. Malachi 3, verses 6 through 12. Most of the time you hear them just talk about, will a man rob God? But really, verse 6 is the key verse. Verse 6 says, trust the Lord. No, the Lord changes not. All right, that's what verse 6 of Malachi 3:6 says, that the Lord doesn't change. This is why this is timeless principle. Are you with me? All right, so in the investing of first things first, he's saying pay God off the top first. Now, just a little sidebar. How many of you heard about the story of Jericho when the walls of Jericho went down? You've heard that, marching around the walls of Jericho, Jericho. All right. Do you know God told them to give them everything that they got in the city to him? Everything. And in doing so, why would he ask for everything? This is the first city they have had a chance to attack in 40 years. Well, he's saying, give it all to me. They don't know if there's going to be a second city or a third city or a fourth city. So when they gave all of that to God, it was because they were trusting that God's going to provide the rest. You see why I say it's not about your funds, it's about your faith? See, the reason we don't pay God off the top is because we don't trust him. If you back up on Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, it says, trust the Lord with part of your heart. Isn't that what it said? All your heart. And do what? Lean not on your own understanding. So in other words, this doesn't make sense. But then I say, if you're going to honor God, that means you got to trust God right where God says. It doesn't have to make sense. It has to make faith. Don't make sense, make faith. Take him at his word. All right? And because, check this out. The investment part, how many of you ever invested in the stock market? I told you about this last week, right? If you had invested like $900 or something in Apple about 20-some years ago to be worth about $300,000, but then I told you about a company called Webvan. If you had invested $1,000 into them, it would be worth zero because they went bankrupt. When you ever invest in anything, what does it always tell you? That their performance is not anything or guaranteed return, right? They can't guarantee you that that stock's going to do that the next time. Isn't that not correct? They say this is past performance. This is what we've done in the past. And we put money in that. We don't know how the future's going to turn out. Don't we? Yes, we do. But guess what? God gives a guarantee on future returns. Guaranteed. He didn't say, I might bless you if I could, if things work out. He didn't say, I'm thinking about it if if certain things, if the economy goes good. How many of you know your God isn't trapped by the economy? How many of you know that? How many of you know he can sell houses when nobody say a house can sell? We're witnesses, not one time, not two times, but 3 times. We put our houses on market when people say, you'd never sell that. And there were tons of houses on the market in the neighborhood, and folks came and paid us cash money. One time, one time they offered us one amount. We raised the amount, and they said, okay. How often does that happen? I'm just trying to tell you about God's plan now. So, hold on. We're not going to have time to do this. Y'all can get this after service. Just come up one at a time and just get a plate. If you didn't get a plate before, I just need some folks to come up and get a plate. You get your pie later. Just come on. Just get a plate. Come on, Lee, help me out. Just pass all these plates out. Just pass all of those plates out. Pass them all out. Let me just keep one. That one right there. Yeah, go ahead. Get your plate. Keep them pass out. Yeah, and you can come back later. Just don't worry about what's on the bottom. Just give them to folks, even if they don't want one. Yeah, just bless them anyhow. Come on, just give them one. Now watch this. Who has the God plate that's empty? Raise it. Who's got that God plate? Look on the back of it. It should have God on the back of it. Somebody's got to have that. I gave it to somebody. I know somebody got it. No, just the ones that were just empty. All right, that should have been the first ones. What was yours? What's your place, Zenobia? Look on. Somebody's got to have God on the back of their plate. All right. Yeah, see if you got 2. But anyways, all right. Who's got health care? Who's got clothing? Who's got taxes? Who's got utilities? All right. Now watch this. Who's got extra? Who's got stand up? Now the first folks, we didn't have no extra. But when you give to God first, after you paid all your bills, wave your extra plate. That's what God says he'll do. That's the return that you're going to get on God. Are you listening to what I'm saying? God says when you put him first, you're going to not only have enough to pay what you owe, but you're going to have some extra. How many want some extra today? How many of you really want God to bless you today? Who wants this extra plate right here? This is an extra blessing. Yeah, all right. That's how, and that's what God said. He'll open up the windows of heaven. Did you see that? He'll throw you out some blessing that you won't have room to store. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? That God says he'll do for you. If you just trust him today, that's what he says he'll do. That's the incentive that God guarantees you a return on your investment. If you invest in the kingdom first. Now you notice I didn't take your offering up today. I didn't forget. I'm a preacher. Just kidding you. But I want you now to start preparing an offering. And I want some of you to really trust God. Now, I didn't get to tell you about the tithe and all of that. We'll talk about that next week. I'll go a little deeper. But remember, we were raising money for not only here, local mission, but global. So your offering today should include your tithe, which is 10%. We'll talk about that more next week. We're going to do that Malachi piece next week, all right, in this timeless principle. And then we said offering. That's over and above. And God is saying, if you invest in me first, I'm going to make certain that all your needs are met, plus some extra. He says, trust me at this. That's what he's asking you to do. So I want to encourage you today, as the house band will give us some giving music. There should be envelopes in the very front of your seat there. You can do it my favorite way. You can use the text to give, 73256. You can do it online. Or if you got your debit card, you can stop out at the hub and you can swipe it and you can give it there. And I know some of you are a little nervous because you got expenses and things of that nature. Let me just tell you this. I don't know how God's going to work it out. But I know that he will. How many have trusted him before and know that he will? Has he ever done anything for you? Did he wake you up this morning? Did he start you on your way? Did he keep you all last night? Has God ever done anything for you? Every breath you take is a God-given praise. You ought to just praise him every time you inhale and exhale. So as you prepare your offering, I'm going to ask my stewardship team to please come forth. And be generous, not only today. This is where I want you to start today. I want you to start having faith today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not the week after. And then once they collect this offering, we're going to pray a prayer of consecration over it for the great work it's going to do, both locally and globally. Amen. Amen. In Jesus' name we do pray. And all the saints of God said amen. Amen. I want to thank you all for those.